Hey everybody, my name is Jessica. I'm the Health Fitness Program Manager at Minor McLean. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Mind-Body Connection class. We're going to do a little riff on some Bikram together. If you've never tried Bikram before, awesome, welcome. Prepare to test out my favorite kind of yoga. We've got 4 minutes till we get started, so feel free to do whatever feels good for yourself for the next couple of minutes. You can lay down, you can relax. We're going to start in a standing position. Make sure you have some water. We're actually not going to drink water. No drinking water for the first 30 minutes of class, if you can, if you have to. You're at home. I'm not there to yell at you. But the idea is that you're going to warm your body up for pretty much the first 30 minutes. Normally we would, have a delightful extra hour after that, but we don't today. So welcome. Hi, Kenley. You're welcome to enjoy some water now. See you guys in a second. Okay, so we've got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Let me just tell you a little about our practice today, because you might be like, what? How can we do Bikram at home? Isn't that supposed to be done in a warm room? Yes, normally I teach in a room that's 104 degrees or a little more with like 60% humidity. 40% is what we're aiming for. Gets a little steamy in there. The whole point is that normally when you teach class, you want the room to be a little bit warmer so that you can get a little bit more into your ligaments and whatnot, just kind of relaxing everything down. But today, we're really just gonna focus a little bit more on the balance aspect of things and just doing the best that you can. Every day is different. Every day your body's different. So you're just going to do the best that you can with the body that you have today. If you've taken Bikram before, you'll know what some of the postures that we're doing are. And if you've never taken Bikram before, that's okay. We've got 2 sets of everything in the warm-up, and then we might end up just having time for one flow somewhat of some of the standing series. But we're gonna do what we can with the time that we have today. We're gonna have so much fun. Yay! All right, 1 minute till we get started. Normally, if you went to a Bikram class, the instructor would not actually do any of the postures. Typically, I talk the whole time, and I just use my words to guide you through your 90-minute moving meditation. If this was a YouTube video, this is when I would restart the video. But instead, I'm just going to give my bird a handful of nuts. Okay. Well, that one's for the dog. Okay. You know how sometimes you just have to give the bird a handful of nuts? Yes. She speaks, but she doesn't know how to say thank you yet. So we'll give her a couple peanuts, an almond, and then hopefully she'll be quiet and leave us alone. Right? More likely she'll learn the phrase, be quiet and leave us alone, in my voice. Okay. Thanks for coming today, you guys. Go ahead, find some space for yourself. You don't need any sort of props. The only thing you need is you and some space on the floor. Even if you don't have a mat, that's totally okay. Especially if balance is a challenge for you. You want to be on the least kind of super thick, cushiony floor that you have available to you. The more cushiony your floor, the more you're going to have to really work to squeeze and engage to get your balance. Okay, so we'll get started by bringing your heels and toes next to each other. Start to ground your feet into the floor. Notice if you're overarching your back and gently tuck that pelvis under, doing your best to stack your ears on top of your shoulders, on top of your hips. And notice if you're going to the outside or the inside of your feet, and once again, ground those feet down into your mat. Start to relax your shoulders away from your ears and come into your focus for yourself. We're gonna start off with pranayama breathing. Deep breathing is good for the lungs and the respiratory system. For the beginning of class, we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, but through the rest of class, we'll breathe out through our nose. So we're gonna do 2 sets of 10. I'm gonna guide you through it. If you've never seen this before, feel free to watch the first couple of breaths and then join in. Okay, so go ahead, interlace your fingers and glue them underneath of your chin with your thumbs touching on your throat. Reground your heels into the floor. Take that gentle squeeze of your glutes, suck your stomach in, relax your shoulders away from your ears. And begin. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lungs full. Open your mouth. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lungs empty. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Elbows high. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Elbows touch. Inhale. Inhaling in through your nose. Feel a vibration on the back of your throat, matching your movement with your breath. Stretch up as your lungs fill. Open your mouth. Loud, slow exhale of your mouth as your lungs come closest to empty, your elbows closest to touch. Inhale. Reground your heels into the floor. Keep sucking your stomach in. Stretch up from your waist. Forearms frame your face. Exhale. Open your mouth. Allow your head to hang back. Squeeze your hands, palms together. Bring your wrist, forearm, elbows to touch. Inhale. Taking your time here, matching your movement with your breath. Chin comes parallel to the floor. Frame your face. Exhale. Open your mouth nice and wide. Aha sound like you're fogging up a mirror. Inhale. Try to create a snoring sensation. Inhale and exhale sound the same, like the roll of the ocean. Exhale. Stretching up from the waist, stretching that chest, sternum up towards the ceiling. Bring elbows to touch. Inhale. Reach up, extra sip. Exhale. Couple more. First set. Inhale. Really fill those lungs, rib cage expanding. Stretch. Exhale. Really breathe all of that stale air out. Make room for a longer, deeper inhale each breath. Inhale. Last 2 of the first set. Suck your stomach in, ground your heels, stretch up. Exhale. Prepare for your last, longest, deepest breath of the day so far. Lungs empty. Inhale. Chin parallel to the floor, stomach sucked in, stretch up, extra sip, and as slow as you can go. Squeeze those hands, palms together to touch. Take a moment, relax your arms down by your side. Feel free to shake it out. Ooh, shake it out a little between first and second set. Just finding what feels good for you today. Because I'm going to ask you throughout the rest of the class, between every movement that we have, that you just come back to your mountain pose, to complete stillness, to focus, and coming back into your breath. All right, 2 sets of everything in the warm-up. So go ahead, bring your heels, toes back together, touch each other, ground those heels into the floor, squeeze your glutes, make that nice stacking. Go for your less dominant grip as you once again interlace your fingers, glue those knuckles underneath of your chin, squeeze your glute, suck that stomach in, relax your shoulders, and begin. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Elbows high, stomach sucked in. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lungs empty. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lungs full. Stretch from the waist. Exhale. 2, 3. Squeeze your hands, palms, wrists, forearms, elbows touch. Inhale. Chin down parallel to the floor, extra sip, shoulders pulled away from ears. Exhale. Trying to create that snoring sensation. Inhale, make sure that you're not sticking your butt towards the back of the room. No duck butt, nice and stacked up from head to your heels. Exhale. The only thing moving here are your chin, your neck, and your arms. Everything's a stable base. Inhale. Forearms frame your face the best you can, elbows high. Keep those elbows stretching up towards the ceiling on this exhale, and then forward towards the front of the room, the top of your mat. Inhale. Elbows open wide so they don't go down below heart level, keeping that nice stretch of the shoulders. I know it can be hard. Exhale. Coming here towards the end of the second set. 2 more. Inhale. The more you're grounding your feet into the floor and squeezing your glutes and contracting your core, extra sip, exhale. The more you're really going to feel that warming of your body. I already feel sweat starting to drip down my back. Last breath, inhale. Take that extra sip right here. Really stretch up. Find your length from your waist. Exhale. And once you're completely empty, relax your arms down by your side. And right now, just coming into this donuts. So we're going to try to hold off on drinking water until we make it through the next 3 postures of our real warm-up. Next up is half moon hands to feet pose. Heels, toes still touching each other. Turn your hands, palms forward or out to the opposite wall as much as you can. Open your shoulders. Ground your feet into the floor. Inhale your arms up overhead sideways. Interlace your fingers. Release your index fingers, thumbs crossed, and keep that nice tight grip throughout the entire posture. Your wrists are together like glue. Your elbows are locked and your biceps are touching with your ears. Keep the weight in your heels. Squeeze your glutes. Push your hips forward. Inhale, stretch up from the waist and move your body right and left, right and left. Imagine that your fingertips are a paintbrush and you're trying to paint the ceiling. Make sure you're not just reaching those shoulders up towards your ears. Really finding that length from your waist. And also getting some movement in those hips. The more you move your hips, the more it's going to be easy to move your body. Awesome. Come back to center. Restack yourself. Bring the weight into your heels. Squeeze your glutes. Gently push those hips forward. Open your chest. See if you can even bring your biceps back so much that your earlobes will be visible. Keep your chin away from your chest. Ground your heels into the floor. Take a deep inhale. Stretch up from your waist. I'm going to do the opposite. Slowly, gently bring your body down to the right without bending your elbows or your knees. Keep pushing your hips to the left beyond your flexibility. Create a tremendous stretching feeling all over the left side of your body from your fingers to your toes. This is confusing to do the opposite. I'm doing the same thing. Great. Just listen to my words. You're going to bring your right shoulder forward and bring that left shoulder back, opening up your chest. Squeeze your glutes. Bring your left hip forward to square your hips with the wall in front of you. If you feel like you're a little stuck, squeeze your hands, palms just a little bit tighter. Get ready to work with your breath. Inhale, find length from your fingers with shoulders pulled away from your ears. Exhale, push your hips to the left. Come down a little bit deeper. One more time. Inhale, find your length. Stretch. Exhale as you push and stretch and push. Inhale, breathing, come up. Stop in the middle. Reset. Hips forward, upper body back. Squeeze your glutes. Take a deep inhale. Stretch up from your waist. And on your exhale, slowly, gently, start to come down to the left. Again, without bending your elbows or your knees. Keep pushing the hips to the right beyond your flexibility. Create a tremendous stretch feeling all over the right side of your body, from your fingers to your armpits, to your hip, to your toes. On this side, you're going to bring your left shoulder forward. Right shoulder comes back. Suck that stomach in, contract your core, bring your right hip forward. Make sure that chin's not tucked towards your chest. If you can see yourself, you would see your throat. Now stretch your fingers to the back left corner of the room, trying to make those earlobes visible. Push your hips to the right, squeeze your hands, palms, eliminate any room for lighter air. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale as you push your hips and stretch and push. Inhale, breathing, come up. Stop in the middle. Bring the weight back to your heels, squeeze your glutes, bring your hips forward as you stretch your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. Keeping that mouth closed, we're at the part of class now where you're only breathing in and out through your nose. Relax your head back where it feels comfortable for you. Bring the weight back into your heels, squeeze your glutes, push your hips forward. Next inhale, lift your chest up, touch the ceiling, and then bring your arms back so that your biceps are touching with your ears. Keep the stretch in your upper back, not your lower back. So every inhale, lift your chest, and every exhale, bring your arms back. Weight in your heels as you push your stomach, legs, hips, thighs, everything forward towards the front of your mat. If you see it with your eyes, touch it with your fingers. Find a place that you can stay as you lean back, more back, way back. Inhale, breathing, weight in your heels, lift yourself up. Suck your stomach in. You can bend your knees if you need to. Kind of turn sideways so you see me. Hinge forward. Place all 5 fingers of both hands down on the floor in front of you. If you can't quite reach those fingers to the floor, feel free to bend those knees a little bit more or just reach in the direction of floor. Keep your heels on the mat to begin with and just find some movement of your hips. Bend one knee and then straighten the other. Right now, we're just taking notice of how our bodies feel today. Reminder that every day is different. We got 2 sets of everything, especially here in the warm-up. So the first set, just find what feels good. See what your body can do today. And the second set, if you want to go a little bit deeper and push yourself a little bit harder, then go for it. But the great news is the setup is always the posture. So even if you just come into the beginning to the setup and you hang out, when I tell you to hang out right there, you're doing it. All right, so bring those heels, toes to touch each other again. Take a generous bend of your knee. I like to really pull my chest forward. Think about hooking my lower ribs on top of my knee, even here. Keeping the weight in your heels, you're gonna reach back with the goal of grabbing your heels from behind. Stepping on all 5 fingers of each hand, or just doing the best that you can today. Work to wrap your elbows around your calf muscles and sandwich your upper body on your lower body. Eliminating room for lighter air, relax your shoulders away from your ears and start to roll the weight forward into your toes. Stomach on thighs, chest on knees, face comes to your legs below your knees. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Mouth closed, eyes open, breathing normal in and out through your nose. It's your last chance to lock your knees, lock your knees, lock your knees. Change. So release your hands from your heels. Bring your biceps back with your ears. Suck your stomach in as you slowly, gently lift yourself up. Stretch all the way up towards the ceiling. Find that lifted length. And exhale, relax your arms down by your side. Just take a moment right here again in your stillness. Do your best to keep your chin away from your chest here as well. Keeping your chin tucked towards your chest, looking down at the floor. That encourages feelings of sadness. Keeping your chin lifted and your shoulders back and chest open, that encourages feelings of happiness. So really work to keep that chin away from your chest. And let's come into our second set. So heels, toes, tilt, touching side by side. Turn those hands, palms out as much as you can. Take a deep inhale, bring those arms up overhead. Go for your less dominant grip. As you once again interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, thumbs crossed. We had the warm up last time, so bring the weight into your heels, squeeze your glutes, hips forward. Open your chest, relax shoulders from your ears. Take a deep inhale, stretch up from your waist. And on your exhale, slowly, gently come down to the right. Use your first couple of breaths. Work to find that depth that you found in the first set. So right shoulder forward, left shoulder comes back. Stomach sucked in, left hip forward. Hands, palms squeezed tight, biceps touching with your ears. Point your fingers to the back right corner of the room. I like to think of myself in this posture like in Beetlejuice when the guy who's been flattened is coming through and he could like literally fit through 2 panes of glass. Your body is in a straight line, so you're fitting through 2 panes of glass right now. So your fingers are stretched right in top of the direction of those heels. Push those hips and come down and stretch. And inhale, lift yourself back up. Reset, weight in your heels, hips forward, upper body back. Shoulders squeezed, glutes tight, stomach tucked in. Take a deep inhale, stretch up from your waist. And on your exhale, slowly, gently start to come down to the left. Again, without bending your elbows or your knees, keep pushing your hips to the right beyond your flexibility. And feel that tremendous stretching feeling all over the right side of your body once more. Chin away from your chest, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Right hip comes forward, squaring everything towards the wall in front of you. Point those fingers towards the wall behind you, but stay in a nice straight line. Push your hips and stretch and push. And inhale, breathing, come up. Stop in the middle. Backward bending once more. Keep the weight in your heels. Stretch your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. And this might be your backward bend right here. Just trying to look up and look back behind you. If you've got a little bit more in you, take a deep inhale, ground those heels, squeeze your glutes, lift your chest, sternum, and bring your arms back, biceps touching with your ears. Keep looking back with your eyes, but find that lift between your shoulders and your chest and not your lower back. Pushing stomach, legs, hips, thighs, everything forward. If you see it with your eyes, touch it with your fingers. One more lift of your chest and oh my gosh. I love how I'm coughing here. Inhale, breathing, come up. Exhale, hinge forward. You do that. Okay. I'm okay. Don't worry. Bending those knees once more. Heels, toes still side by side. Once again, take that generous bend in your knees. You can start with the weight more in your heels. Reach back and do your best to step on all 5 fingers of each hand. Rewrap those forearms around your calf muscles. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Bring the weight into your toes. And just relax here. Hairline hangs heavy down towards the floor. More weight into your toes. Stretch those hips up towards the ceiling. Pull your shoulders away from your ears once more. Try to touch your face into that space between your shins. And change. Release your hands from your heels. Stretch your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, relax those arms down by your side. Another moment right here in your stillness. Chin lifted from your chest. That one spot to focus your eyes and your mind. Nice. One posture done. Next up is awkward pose. So step your right foot to the right, hips width distance apart. If you're not entirely sure what hips width distance apart is, you can generally measure 2 of your fists, and you want about 2 fist distance apart. We're going for your hip bones, not the outside of your thighs, so it's not quite as wide as you might think it is. Okay, make sure that your heels are invisible behind your toes. Your feet are grounded on the floor like a number 11. You're gonna suck your stomach in, open your shoulders and chest, and stretch your fingertips down towards the floor to decompress your shoulders. All 5 fingers touching each other. Reach those fingers forward as if you're reaching for your shoulders in front of you, and make sure that you don't round your shoulders forward here, so you're still squeezing those shoulder blades together. Weight stays in your heels. Take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, sit your hips back and down. So the weight is still in your heels. It didn't crawl into your toes, and you still have a delightful 6 inches between your fingers, your knees, and your toes. You can look down for a moment and notice if your knees went out or in, or if your feet twisted, and do your best to line everything up. Then take a deep inhale, lift your chest up so that your rib cage is visible in front of you. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Sink more weight into your heels as you lean back, more back, way back. Keep your arms there, but inhale, come up. Back up to standing. Find one spot on the wall in front of you. Pull those shoulders back again and press all the way up onto your toes. Maximum like a ballerina. Imagine I'm pulling you up towards the ceiling with the string coming out of your head. You're going to keep leaning against an imaginary wall, but go ahead, start to bend your knees. Leaning against that imaginary wall so that your shoulders stay stacked on top of your hips. You're not leaning forward and bringing your shoulders towards your chest. Just coming up as high as you can, working to get all the way down into the chair. No bar stools, down to the chair. And change. Lift yourself up. Relax your heels to the floor, keep your arms there, squeeze those shoulder blades together. We've got one more. For this last one, squeeze your knees together. And this might be where you stay for the whole posture. But if you want to challenge yourself, keep that chest lifted, shoulders on top of hips, and come on down for a nice slow count of 10, 9, and you can stop anywhere along the way as long as you're still in control. You're working to keep those knees pointed down towards the floor. So as you get all the way down here towards the bottom, your hips are higher than your knees. A ball in your lap would roll right off. Ooh, working hard. You are not resting with your thighs on top of those calves. Point those knees down towards the floor. Take a deep inhale, lift up half an inch. And slowly lift yourself all the way back up. Nice work. Step your feet together. Relax your arms down by your side. Back to your stillness, your breath, your chin away from your chest. Inhaling in through your nose. Exhaling out through your nose. The longer you make your exhale, the more your heart rate's going to stay down and relaxed. The more you find one spot for focus, the easier it's going to stay to balance. Let's go ahead and get that second set. Step your right foot back out to the right. Still hips width distance apart. You can measure again if you need to, if this is new to you. Heels invisible behind your toes. Really pull that belly in tight. Keeping that belly tight is going to help your back feel good too. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Stretch all 5 fingers, thumbs included, touching each other down towards the floor, and then forward as if you're reaching for your shoulders, like you're a mummy. But don't let them round forward. Squeeze shoulder blades together, weight in your heels. Take a deep inhale and sit your hips back and down into the chair. Notice as you came back and down, did the weight come forward to your toes? If so, shift it back and towards your heels. First, you're gonna feel that stretch on the glutes, and the lower you sit, you're gonna feel it on your thighs as well. Inhale to lift your chest up, pull your shoulders away from your ears, make your rib cage visible, ooh, but still have that 6 inches between your fingers, your knees and your toes. More weight in your heels, shift your hips back and lean back, more back, way back. Inhale, breathing, come up. Stop in the middle, find that one spot, focus your eyes, relax your mind, relax those shoulders away from your ears, lean against your imaginary wall and press up onto your toes. Maximum like a ballerina, ground the balls of the feet into the floor, and then you just bend your knees so that your heels sink down, high up on the toes, higher with the knees. Stomach sucked in. The more you suck your stomach in, the more you focus your eyes. If you blink your eyes, you can lose your balance. Come all the way down to the chair. Normal for legs to tremble. Change. Release your heels down towards the floor. As you squeeze your knees together and zip your thighs up, squeeze those shoulders together. It's normal for heels to come up off the floor. I'm going to do a modified version with you on number 2. As you come on down for 10, 9, and you can stop yourself anywhere. So I'm going to stop myself right here today. Being smart for myself, really just focusing on squeezing those knees together. I still have my knees pointed down lower than my hips, which is what you're going for if you went all the way down towards the bottom. I can really focus on squeezing my shoulder blades together, keeping my chest lifted, focusing on that breath in and out through your nose. Get ready to come up for a nice slow count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your feet together. Relax your arms down by your side, back to that one spot of focus, stillness, breath. We got one more in the warm-up, you guys. Next up is eagle. Look at your hands. Identify which is right and left so you don't mix them up. Take a deep inhale, bring both arms up overhead sideways. And as you exhale, you can hinge forward at the waist to help you get a nice cross of the right elbow underneath of the left. So deep cross of right elbow under the left, and then you work to bring your hands palms together so your thumbs are facing towards you and your pinkies are away from you. And this might not be something that you can grab hold of today. Maybe you can get your 2 hands in one line. Maybe you can just grab hold of a thumb. Maybe you have to grab hold of your opposite shoulder. Whatever you need to do, you're going to pull that down and start to bring those fingers a little further away from your face to help open your back. Your heels, toes are still touching each other. Just like awkward, sit your hips back and down. Keep your hips low, shoulders away from ears, stomach sucked in as you lift your right leg up as high as possible to cross and twist over the left. The higher you cross, the easier it is to twist, and work to wrap your toes around that left calf muscle. And if they won't go, you can always sit down a little bit deeper, and if you feel like you're losing your balance, lift that upper body up a little bit more. You're gonna wanna line everything up from nose, elbows, knees to toes. So on this side, you probably need to move your knees to the right, move your upper body to the left, shift the weight back to your heel, send your hips back, sit them down, pull your elbows down. Take a deep inhale, lift your chest, and change. Relax your right leg down, inhale your arms up overhead, and then swing the left arm under the right. I like to take this hinge forward. It helps me to get a better cross of my elbows. But if you hinge forward, suck your stomach in, grab hold of what you can, thumbs to your face, little baby fingers towards the top of your mat, pull those shoulders down away from your ears, sit your hips back so the weight stays in your heels, and down. Keep that belly tight and left leg lift up as high as it can. Cross and twist over the right. Take a moment to re-ground yourself, center yourself. You're working to line up, once again, nose, elbows, knees, and toes. So on this side, knees come to the left, upper body comes to the right. Shift more weight into your heel. Sit those hips down. Pull your elbows down. Suck your stomach in, take a deep inhale, lift your chest, and change. Second set immediately. Bring those arms up overhead. Palms together. Once again, swing your right arm under the left, cross and twist. Hips sit back and down into the chair. Lift that right leg up as high as possible again. And once again, sink your hips. Now you know you want to line up your nose, elbows, knees, and toes. So knees to the right, upper body to the left. But take a moment and think what's happening with your hips. If you can see yourself, awesome. Do you notice that one hip might be cocked up a little bit higher than the other? Do your best to get your two hips in one line, two shoulders in one line. Squeeze those thighs together as tight as you can. Sit your hips down, back, whoop. Pull those elbows down, keep your eyes focused. Take a deep inhale, lift your chest, and change. Relax your right leg down. Inhale your arms up overhead. Last one, best one. Swing your left arm underneath of the right, cross and twist, thumbs to your face. Sit those hips back and down, weighting your heels, stomach sucked in, shoulders already pulled away from your ears. Left leg lifts up high and crosses over right. Good work, you guys. Sit your hips down and back. Lift your chest for a second. Line it up. Knees to the left, upper body to the right. Two hips in one line, two shoulders in one line. Get a little bit deeper right here at the ends. Right ankle back. Sit those hips down and back. Suck your stomach in, pull your elbows down. Take a deep inhale, squeeze your thighs, lift your chest, and change. Bring those arms up overhead. One more big stretch. Exhale, relax your arms down. It's party time. Party time is the only official water break. In a Bikram class, in a normal class. As I said before, you might have missed it. You just try to wait the first 30 minutes to really warm up your body. The more that you focus on squeezing and contracting your muscles in this class, the more that you will sweat. So ideally, even in that warm up, in that pranayama breathing, you're sucking your stomach in, you're grounding your feet into the floor, you're squeezing your glutes and your thighs, and everything is so tight that you even start to sweat just from breathing. Okay. Grab that water. And just like I would normally say, if you need water through the rest of the class, please help yourself. Try to wait between postures. We're gonna go ahead and just do one of most of the postures for the standing series, because we've got about 15 minutes left. I know, a 30-minute warm-up. And then we're gonna lay down on the floor and just enjoy a really nice long savasana together. And if you love this, let's talk next time. We'll do the floor series. Okay. So once again, standing with your heels, toes touching each other. We are moving on to the standing balancing series. Remember, balance is all about focus with your eyes and control of your breath. Starting with standing head to knee. Go ahead, shift the weight into your left leg, and you're going to engage your left thigh bicep. Who knew? Which really means just pressing all four corners of the left foot into the floor. So if you come to a real class, you might hear the phrase lock the knee, but really we're just looking for some muscular engagement. So with that left leg locked, not like weightlifting, taking the bend out of the knee. You're gonna suck your stomach in, contract your core, and draw your right leg up. Do your best to keep your heel stacked underneath of your knee and flex your toes up so you can see under your face. And this might be all you can do today. I feel this in my hip flexor already. If you're ready to move on and your left leg stays locked, keep that stomach sucked in, stretch up and bring yourself down towards your thigh. Working to interlace all 10 fingers underneath the ball of the foot. Maybe you're just reaching towards that foot. But once you have all 10 fingers interlaced, you kick your right heel forward and you flex your toes back towards your face. If you can get both legs locked like an upside down letter L, you bend your elbows down towards the floor. If your elbows touch or go below your calf, tuck your chin to your chest. Look at your belly button and slowly, gently place your forehead on your knee. For 3, 2, 1, change. So you might have seen there that I fell out of the posture. That's cool, it's practice. It's not perfect. If you fall out, jump back in, whatever part you can do. Let's switch to the other leg. Shift the weight into your right leg. Ground that right heel into the floor. Heel, big toe, pinky, suck your stomach in. Pull those shoulders away from your ears and draw your left leg up. Left thigh bicep parallel to the floor. Keep flexing those toes up towards your face. And then just slowly, gently round yourself forward. Better, excuse me, to work towards rounding yourself forward, to building this strength of really pulling your belly in, than it is to hold onto your knee, which brings a whole different stretch towards your back. So maybe today all you're doing is just working towards bringing that leg up, and you have to bring it down over and over again, and that's okay. If you're ready, you can always round down, grab hold of your opposite foot, all 10 fingers interlaced, thumbs included, no sandwiches, and maybe you're hanging out right here, or maybe you're ready to kick that heel forward towards the front of your mat. If you can get both legs locked like an upside down letter L, begin to bend your elbows down towards the floor. If today's the day your elbows go down below your calf, tuck your chin to your chest, look at your belly button and place your forehead on your knee, but most important is that your right leg stays locked and that thigh is engaged. Change, come out one step at a time. Step those feet together. Give yourself a nice little assisted back bend. Place your hands on your lower back, thumbs on the outside, fingers on the inside. Squeeze your elbows together. Stretch your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. Great. Next we have standing bow pulling. It's our largest back bend that we will be doing together today. Okay. I'm gonna stand sideways in the demure position. So starting with your right elbow close by your side without turning or twisting your hand. Relax your hand down and grab hold of your foot from the inside. And maybe you can't quite reach your foot today. Maybe you're just reaching back towards your foot. Maybe you can grab hold of your pant. If all you can do is grab hold of your pant, please stay right here. Don't go any further. If you can grab hold of your foot from the inside, all 5 fingers touching each other, go ahead, bring your 2 knees together to start. Take a deep inhale as you stretch your left arm up towards the ceiling. Palm facing forward towards the top of your mat. Squeeze your glutes. We're going to start with the kick. Kick your heel away from the center line of your body. And once you can't kick anymore, start to hinge forward at the hips. You're bringing your chest and abdomen down parallel to the floor, and you're keeping your eyes focused on that one spot on the wall in front of you. Your right shoulder's coming back, your left shoulder's coming forward. 2 shoulders in one line, chin is close towards your chest. Now work with your breath here towards the end. Left leg still locked, solid concrete. Right toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, find your lifted length. Oops. Exhale, stretch, reach forward. Inhale, lift and kick. Exhale, stretch and change. Yay, slowly, gently coming out. And remember, it's normal to fall out. It's normal to fall out over and over and over. You just do your best to jump back in. Remember, the setup is the posture. So even if all you're doing is hanging out right here or right here, you are in this standing bow pulling. All right, so opposite side. Left elbow close by your side. Relax your hand down. Without turning or twisting it, grab hold of your foot from the inside. Bring those 2 knees together to start, 2 hips in one line. Ooh, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Pull that belly in. Stretch your right arm up towards the ceiling. Find that laser focus On the wall in front of you, re-engage your right thigh. Take a deep inhale, start with your kick. Bring your heel away from your glute. That's how you're gonna find your archer's bow. Once you can't kick anymore, simply hinge forward at the waist. Start bringing your right shoulder forward, closer towards your chin. Left shoulder back, left toes point up towards the ceiling. Relock that right leg. Grounding through that right foot. If you fell out like me, jump back in. Plenty of time to kick and stretch and kick and change. Nice work, everyone. Ooh, relax that right arm down. Come on to the back of your mat towel. Next up is balancing stick. Make up your mind to give this posture 100% effort, because if you're late, it could be over. Okay. Heels, toes touching side by side. Take a deep inhale. Bring your arms up overhead sideways. Interlace your fingers. Release index fingers, thumbs crossed. Keep that nice tight grip. Suck your stomach in and take a big step forward with your right leg. Shift the weight into your right foot. Get your left toes off of the mat and go. Hinge forward at the hips, and it doesn't matter where you stop. You can be here. You can be here. You can come all the way down. The goal is parallel to the floor, but you want to be the straightest line you can be in. So better to be right here than to be here and be a broken umbrella. Stretch from your fingers, stretch from your toes, stretch and change. Step your left foot back, step your right foot back in. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Pull your belly in tight. Take a deep inhale. Left leg steps forward. Shift the weight, lock your knee, point your toe, and go. Biceps still touching with your ears, chin away from your chest. Keep your eyes down towards the floor. Keep that right hip down towards the mat. Lock your knee, point your toes, point your fingers, stretch, and change. Step your feet together, relax your arms down by your side. Just take a couple breaths right here. Yeah, you guys, we got like a quick little flow. And then we get to lay down on the floor. So come to the left side of your mat towel. You might need to turn your mat in the same direction as mine for this next couple of postures. All right, we're gonna flow separate leg stretching into triangle, into standing head to knee. Then we'll do a quick tree and toe and hit the floor. You're like, what are you talking about? Okay, so heels, toes touching each other. Inhale those arms up, overhead, sideways, palms together, and take a big step to the right. Roar, as you bring your arms down parallel to the floor. Once again, either having your heels invisible behind your toes, or you can pigeon toe your feet like a piece of pizza. If you have any lower nerve issues though, please just keep your heels invisible behind your toes. Open your shoulders, open your chest. Make sure that doing so though didn't make you overarch that back. So tuck that pelvis back under. Take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, slowly, gently hinge forward from the hips, coming down with as flat of a back as you can. And if you're feeling super tight, just relax your hands right here underneath of your shoulders. Goal number one of this posture is to have nice straight legs. So actually shift the weight into your toes so that your hips stack a little bit more on top of your heels instead of towards the wall behind you. And if you're feeling really flexible, you can even reach back and grab hold of your heels from behind, stepping on all 5 fingers of each hand. Relaxing your hairline, heavy down towards the floor. If you're holding onto your heels, pull. Pull on your heels. Pulling is the object of stretching. Relax your shoulders away from your chest. Your ears and chin away from your chest like you're a turtle and there's a delicious piece of icy cold lettuce right between your big toes, and you're gonna pick up that piece of lettuce with your teeth. Stretch and change. Release your hands from the floor. Slowly, gently lift yourself up. Keep your arms out to the side. Next up is triangle. So pick up the toes of your right foot and turn them towards the top of the mat. Bend your knee and bounce and bounce and bounce a couple times. You might even need to open the distance between your feet a little bit. Make sure that your knee is stacked around on top of your heel. You don't want it to be behind, and you don't want it past the toes. So we already feel a lot of engagement in your thighs. Open your shoulders, open your chest, and move both arms at the same time. Right elbow comes in the direction of your knee, but there's no pressure for you to actually touch your elbow towards your knee. If your fingers are touching down towards the floor, they're going in the direction of your big and second toe, but there's no weight or pressure of your fingers on the floor. Use your breath, exhale your chin towards your left shoulder, Use your forearm to push your left knee back as you drop your left hip down and forward. Take a deep inhale, reach up, touch the ceiling. And as you exhale, rotate your chest up to the ceiling in a spine twist. Change. Lift up your chest. Turn your right foot in. Turn your left foot out. Bend your left knee, bounce and bounce. Like a motorcycle rider. Keep the edge of that right foot into the floor. If you feel like your feet are squeezing apart, sliding apart, squeeze your heels together. Open your shoulders, open your chest, and move both arms at the same time. Once again, left elbow stacked right in front of your knee. Fingers reaching down in the direction, high ankle buck, of your big and second toe. Turn your chin towards that right shoulder and keep that right hip down. So you're actually kind of pushing your hips towards the back of your mat to keep that right hip from coming up. Turn your chin towards that right shoulder. Use your left elbow to push your knee back. Stretch up, touch the ceiling. Use your exhale, rotate up to the ceiling and change. Lift your chest, straighten your leg, turn your foot in. Bring your arms up overhead and heel toe your feet in a little closer together. Pick up your toes, turn on your heels towards the top of your mat. Back foot's at a 45-degree angle. Move your hip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times for standing head to knee. Standing separate leg, head to knee. Stretch up, tuck your chin to your chest and round yourself down. One vertebrae at a time. You can separate your hands if you need to. You can bend your knee as much as you want to, but bring your forehead and your knee to touch. This is a compression posture. So good for elimination, digestion, metabolism, but to get the benefits, you gotta get your forehead and your knee touching, and your forehead's that spot above your eyebrows. Shift more weight into your front right leg. Actively lift that hip up, press through your left heel. Walk your fingertips a little closer together. Lock your knee a couple times and change. Slowly lift yourself up, chin tucked, left hip forward. Slow, 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 all the way up. Pick up your toes, turn on your heels towards the back of the mat. Make sure you didn't lose that distance between your feet. The wider the distance, the easier the stretch. Stretch up, tuck your chin to your chest, one vertebrae at a time. Already starting with this throat choke sensation, you lower yourself down. Bend your knee as much as you need to get that forehead to knee compression and bring more weight into that front left leg this time. If you don't actively lift your left hip up, it drops down. Ooh. Back to your nice, slow, relaxed breath. In through your nose, out through your nose, mouth closed, eyes open. Change. Lock your knee a couple times. Walk your fingers closer together. Commit to chin tuck, right hip forward the whole way up. Turn back towards the side. Step your feet together. Relax your arms down by your side. We've got tree and toe. We're going to flow those together and then hit the floor for Savasana. So shifting the weight into your left leg. This is a little bit of a different tree than if you came to Jen's class this morning. You're going to engage your left thigh bicep. You're going to pick your right foot up. You're going to grab hold of it and bring it all the way up towards your costume. That's what we call your bikini line. So you want the sole of your foot to face up towards the ceiling. And you can keep holding on with two hands. And if you can, relax your two knees down to come into the hip flexor here with the stretch. So stretching that right knee down and back, the more you start to squeeze your glutes and push your hips forward, the more you're going to feel it in this hip. If you can bring your right hand to the center of your chest and your foot won't slip, go for it. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Keep finding the stretch of your right knee down towards the floor. Now you can keep holding on with your left hand, or you can bring your two hands to the center of your chest. Gaze your eyes down towards the floor for toe stand as we begin to hinge forward. You can stay right where you were in tree or give it a try. Coming down with a nice locked knee. Once you have all 5 fingers or both hands down on the floor, you bend your knee and you sit your hips down so you're hovering atop your heel. And depending on the tightness in your legs, you might have needed to stop anywhere along the way. Keep your eyes focused on the floor in front of you. Keep pointing your toe towards the back left corner of the room. Start with your left hand to the center of your chest. Go ahead, bring your right hand to meet it. Namaskar. Change. Slowly, gently come out. Release that right leg back down towards the floor. Shift the weight into your right leg and let's get the left. Lift your left leg up. Bring your heel all the way up to the center line of your costume. It's okay if that knee keeps pointing up towards the ceiling. You're just working to open up. You can do this posture, this class, the whole series every single day. This is a beginner series, and the thing that changes is your body. Stretching that left knee down towards the floor, keeping that engagement of that right thigh. Stretch tall through the crown of your head as you bring your left hand to the center of your chest. You can keep holding on with your right hand and start to take the hinge, or you can bring both hands to the center of your chest in Namaskar. Finding the stretch that feels good for you today. Remember, each side is different. If you can, get all 5 fingers of both hands to the floor in front of you. Ooh, I'm gonna stay right here. This feels right for me. You can bend your knee though and sit your hip down and hover atop your heel. If you make it all the way down towards the bottom, walk your fingertips to the sides of your hips. For balance, balancing on those fingertips. Then you can bring one or both hands to the center of your chest in Namaskar. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. And change. Gently lift yourself up. Relax your left leg down. Take a moment to honor yourself. Grab some water if it honors you. Turn around and lay down on your mat for Savasana, the 13th posture of our practice. Heels touch, toes fall open, palms face up towards the ceiling. We're going to take an active Savasana here, so just keep your eyes open. Find one spot on the ceiling above you to relax your mind. And just come back into your breath, slowing that exhale down a little bit longer than your inhale. We got just over 1 more minute right here in this final Savasana. Normally this would be the middle part of class. But Savasana is also a posture, so bring to it the same beautiful focus you brought to the 12 amazing postures and the warm-up exercise that we had before we got started. See if you can keep that breath in and out through your nose. Nice work, everyone. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Either draw your knees in towards your chest or roll over onto your side, or if you have time, stay here in the final Savasana for as long as you can. If you know the practice, I definitely urge you to continue on with the spine strengthening in the floor series. But for those of us who need to get back to work, go ahead, take a moment, bring your hands to the center of your chest as you take an extra moment to honor you. Thank you guys so much for coming, for trying something a little different, I'm sure, for honoring yourself, for your mental health. I can feel your energy. Thanks so much for sharing it with me and with each other. I can't wait to see you all again soon. Namaste.